Hello, hello, hello. This is going to be a pretty messy start up at the moment. I'm not prepared in the slightت. I wasn't going to stream today, and then I wanted to stream today, so I did stream today. But there was obviously a plan at some point, I think, to stream in the week, and that didn't go ahead simply because the the timings weren't right, really. It should be something good going forward, but we shall see. Let me just close the door. And for some reason the computer's decided to take its time getting started as well, even though I set up before I set the camera up, but hope everyone is doing well. How can I sign in with a fingerprint when it's a desktop, you absolute moron? Yeah, just do the same. Right. So yeah, anyone joining us on YouTube will already know. Same as anyone that will be joining us shortly on the stream will know, because, of course, the title says it all. Today we're going to be doing our next drawing in the series, which is going to be Charmander. And I'm just getting the original Sugimori artwork up on the screen. I feel a bit bright today. Is that a bit just... Please ignore my absolutely disgusting hands, but yeah, that seems better. Let's go. Yeah, it's very sharp, but whatever. Right. So I want that one there. That one there. I'm going to be using the Ohuhu markers again today, just because, as mentioned, I'm behind just a touch time-wise. And yeah, the easiest one just to get out and together straight away. Well, I could actually... Yeah, I've got to wait for the computer to load up anyway, so... I think I've had a slight change of heart. Is that going to be annoying to... Do you know what, that's going to be really annoying to get to, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave it at the Carla series today, but tomorrow, for the actual Sunday stream, I'm probably going to try and get out the... I think it's the Honolulu series that I've got. I think we shall see. Right. That is lovely. I need to really save this as a favourite. While that's loading up, let's get this open. So obviously, we've already done our Bulbasaur and Ivysaur, and on last stream we did our Venusaur, which actually turned out okay in the end. I haven't gone back in like I said I would and done the colourless marker on the colourless blender, sorry, on the leaves to dapple the light, but actually I don't mind it just being the one right there. Yep, we are live. Good. Yeah, I like it sort of the way it is, but also I haven't had time to just sort of jump in and get that ready. So, oh, why are you looking like that? Absolute rat. Let's move you over a little bit. I'd like the stream to actually start showing. There we go, that's better. So I can see what we look like, because, again, for some reason, my phone doesn't show me the truth. And it's frozen, because my hand's not moving on there. Just want to make sure we're actually centered today. And we are. So, no time like the present, 5 minutes into the video to actually start some art. Start the art, as they say. Charmander's not going to be difficult to draw, I don't think. It's going to be difficult to size, maybe. But I'm thinking, if I can sort of start around here for the belly, excuse me. Thank you. If I can start around here for the belly marking, and then get off my screen now, and then sort of get that down, I can kind of... No, that's not enough for his head. Is it? No, that's not enough for his head, so I will need to start with his head, because Charmander has a head that's roughly 2/3 the size of his body. Right, get off. So I suppose the best thing is, yeah, to start with his head. Let's start. This is annoying. Let's start here, I guess. Oh my god. This is not ideal for me. He's gonna have to have a flat top head. There we go. And then we've got an eye here. Now Charmander does have a black pupil, but then it's gonna be white there, and then same, but then this one's got the white part. Is that the sclera? I need to look at parts of eyes. I'm talking about eyes in the book I'm writing, but I need to probably know something about eyes for that. And that's dark as well. So we've got that dark there, we've got pupil there, and then we've got some shine there that's going to stay white. They're not the same size. That's mostly fine. So let's carry on. Let's try and make that a bit more rounded, so he hasn't got a tabletop head. And then cool. So it's that there. Let's get... Nope. Let's get his awfully big mouth to start there. We're going to have a tooth here and a tooth there, a tooth as it were, and then some little noses. That's not disgusting, although to be fair, I think this is already turning out less happy than the original picture by Sugimori. But let's go from sort of there and see where we can get to. So there's his arm. I think so far, I mean, the copying's not sort of the hard part, because obviously I'm just working from a reference, but it's difficult for me at the moment to get proportions right. Like that was already, that needs to be a bit more chunky. That's better, because that goes into there, right there. I feel like now, this looks like it's turning the other bloody way. I've not got a huge amount of room down here then to do Charmeleon, which is the plan. But again, we did sort of discuss the plan of using, of using the space a bit more economically in one of the streams recently. And, you know, let's get his teeth in. Oh, that's automatically a bit better. Gonna put a little, not a line there, but a bit of shade. Yeah, just trying to use some of the space a bit better, and you know, not necessarily draw them space-wise in order if that's not where they fit. And that's kind of great and all, but I feel that's going to take a lot of planning, because again, I'm struggling to sort of shrink down. But right, there's more around, and then that's going to go from there around there, and then to about there. That leg is then going to jut out about here. If I don't like this, I can obviously, you know, start again, rub it out and start again. Because at the moment, I'm not loving it. Then also part of me thinks I want to trust the process, and also kind of be able to draw something and dislike it and keep it. Because I think part of art is to get things wrong sometimes, perhaps. Because that just looks really bad. But also, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to rush through, but also I do want to be able to create art at a speed of some sort, because otherwise, if I'm constantly really going slowly or starting something and then stopping, I'm not really going to be learning how to sort of create, if that makes sense, at least in my opinion. I think I need to be able to not necessarily speed draw, but be able to, you know, it's just weird. It's just weird looking. Be able to actually create at a speed where I can just say, yeah, that's right. That's all where it needs to be. Because realistically, I need to be able to. Oh my god, this is just not. Don't know what's going wrong here. Part of me thinks that I've come to stream a bit later than I wanted to. I'm usually a bit more prepared, or have been so far in the three streams that we've done for this series. But also, again, if I'm trying to get to a point where I'm good enough, that I think I'm good enough, I should be able to just jump on and start the process. Which obviously, this is going to be, oh, actually, am I going to be able to? Yes, I am. Might be getting that out. I have a pack of, I got them in Japan, I think, maybe, I don't know. I went in 2019, I went in 2023. One of the trips, I got these, you can see the price on them, they were 750 yen, which roughly is about like £7.50-ish. Sort of a rule of thumb is move the decimal point over 2 places to the left and it's kind of the same price. But these Zig Cartoonist Mangaka 5-colour set, I'm going to use this one today to line the flame on Charmander's tail, and I'm really excited because it's actually the first time it'll be the first time I've opened them since I bought them, so my partner will be very happy that they're in use. And then I'm not going to draw any fire inside to work off, because there's no actual lines around it other than the outside of the fire for his tail. And there's like a little sort of nub in here that will go around. That just kind of gets painted a dark colour. but then I'll kind of try and freehand the fire inside and see if I can actually make some kind of fire that works. Don't love it, but let's be fair, I think I'm quite lucky so far that I've loved them all, although in fairness, proportion wise, Ivysaur didn't turn out or start off great and actually looks to me now somewhat decent, so maybe once we've lined it and got the sort of rest of the moaning out of the way, it won't be too bad. Now, there is a black one in here, so actually I'm going to use that today. Might as well use the same. I need to... I'm really happy. I was actually looking at these liners as I was getting everything out for the stream, so I'm quite happy that I get to use them. And remember, kids, this time we're going to make sure that we rub out the lining afterwards, because, oh my gosh, I should have got some scissors. Because last time we didn't on Venusaur, I ended up with some pencil lines under the under the markers. So right, I've noticed that not all the Charmander is in frame. I know his head is kind of flopped at the top, but has that done anything? Yeah, that's all right. Cool, you're seeing on stream and what I'm seeing on my phone camera is not the same, so I can't see the top of the Amazon Basics laptop stand, which, by the way, is not for this. It is actually for my laptop, usually mine or my work laptop, but it's ideal for this. So, but oh, they're pretty. You'll notice as we go through the next few weeks, months, years, I do like stationery. If we can get this to focus, let's see. You can see that the pen's kind of like sparkly. What is this though? It says 01. Is that going to be? The only thing about this is that Charmander's line is going to be a bit. I'm just rolling my sleeves up. Charmander's lines are going to be a bit thinner in that case, because we have been using 0.3, but this, I believe, is 0.1. So I'm just looking over there. Minami Kyobate, 7 Chome, or Chum. We were in Nihonbashi for the second trip. The first trip we were in Nihonbashi the whole 2 weeks, and then we were in Nihonbashi for a week for the second time, and then the second week, well, part of the second week we were in Kyoto and then came back to Nihonbashi in Tokyo. So this could have been from anywhere. I mean, it's not in Kyoto, it's definitely in Tokyo, but Kuretake. Cool. Right, let's start. I'm a little I'm frustrated actually. No, I think I'm gonna stick with, I'm gonna keep the this colour for the fire, but I am gonna use I'm gonna use one more of the pens, one of the 0.3, because I do want to be consistent with what they all look like. Let's see who's coming out first. There we go. It looks like Derwent's the one today. Okay, so I don't mind his head. The head looks fine, so let's start there. And hopefully we can get this a bit more rounded. There we go. Now, there's no lines in the eyes for this. I mean, it didn't happen for the last few, but I'm going to leave them and just colour where I need to colour, I think. For the last few. Have we lined the insides of the eyes? I think we have, haven't we? Yes. And yes, but then I think they were. His white, he was supposed to be just white, but we'll stick with this idea today of not doing them and see how I can do with getting the colours in there in the right places without. Alright, let's give him some little teethies. Then we got that there. We're gonna go so I'm quite excited recently. Actually, I've had an offer for publishing on the children's books that I've been querying. Not necessarily sure where to go now because the publishing house that I did send the query to, I did send it to a few agents as well, but the publishing house I sent it to has some kind of I don't know if dodgy is the right word for it, but some interesting reviews and whatnot for quality and aftercare and stuff, and it would be hybrid, which is fine. I don't necessarily know if that's the right way for me to go. I'm gonna have to fully redo this leg, I think. Alright, so if we just go like that for now. But it's exciting to get to the point where, you know, someone's come back and it's not been a no. I'm just gonna have to do some research, I think, and look into it and see where we go from here, because I would like, of course, to be published, and you know, there are means to an end sometimes, but I also don't want to be A, out of pocket when I shouldn't have to be out of pocket, and B, at a time when I don't really intend to be out of pocket, because I don't know if I've mentioned, and please forgive the fact that I think this is stream 4 and I've worn my engagement ring the grand total of once, but me and my fiance are of course engaged, as mentioned, and the plan for that is, the wedding is in May. That actually doesn't look as bad there now. The wedding is in May, so of course everything now is starting to be paid for, and that's not then the time to be going, yep, let's shell out money on some self-publishing that I don't necessarily need to, because it is somewhat vanity publishing, it seems. I just don't know yet, but I'm going to do, as I say, do some research and get it out, because I'd love to have the story out. It's a fun little kids book. I have a son that I think would love it. It's very much in the vein of like Paw Patrol Octonauts as it is by itself, and then of course that's also a point then where I'm saying, you know, this could be a big thing potentially. It's about superhero animals, and you know, that's a big hit with the children. The goal isn't necessarily to be, you know, a crazy, famous and rich author, although that would be absolutely lovely. But the goal is to, you know, get my book and my name out there, so that then when I continue to write the book that I actually really want to write, I'm able to. You know, I'm able to use whatever clout I may have gained with, it's more like a brown, but I like it. It's fine. But yeah, so it's a nice feeling, as I say, to have interest in something that I won't say you've put, you know, years of time and effort into, because for these particular books I haven't. They were literally a new idea that came to me a while ago, only a short while ago, and I sort of did the thing. I stood there. That foot looks horrible. I just realised. Not this one. This one looks ridiculously bad. But we've lined it now. I was about to. This is, by the way, this is my mouse. This is my rubber. I was about to pick up the mouse and rub out the pencil lines. Yeah, it's not something that I've spent years on. 0.8, 0.3. Yeah. Don't know if any of you just noticed that, but I've noticed that straight away. There we go. Whereas there is a novel that I did. I don't know if I've even gone into this before on the stream. I'm sure I've maybe mentioned it once or twice, perhaps, on my YouTube channel, maybe. For years, I was planning a novel series, I should say. Young adult fiction, technically, fantasy, definitely. And this is back when I was working in retail. I'd spent months and months and months and months planning it out, and then thought, no, I can't just keep planning it, I need to actually write it. And then one night, I think it was about 1 a.m. or so, and I could not sleep. I was like, do you know what? We're doing this. Let's just write it now. 1 second. And I stayed up for like 4 hours or so, writing. Where is my little? There it is. Writing this part of this novel. Really got into it, and the story is still in my head, and I'm all for it. It's mine. It's what I know I want to write. But of course things get in the way, and then I stopped a bit after that. I think at one point I did get to like the 6th chapter or so, whilst also continuing to world build, which probably was a mistake in itself. But that was how I sort of went with it. And then kind of from there, didn't really do much else with it. That didn't come after it there. And kept sort of going at it, and then trying to go back and rewrite the first chapter, rewrite the prologue, and it just was not right, really. I wasn't doing it the right way for me, for the book itself. And then the laptop that I used for it, which was an old laptop, to be fair, it was I already had a new laptop at the time, and the computer at the time. That laptop died. Tried to get it back myself, it did not work. Let me just test this first, actually, because no, it's too dark. See, stop down. Let's try this one. Too dark. Yeah, couldn't get anything back, bar whatever was on the OneDrive. I hadn't backed up, and that's my fault. For the little nub here, I'm just going to do, this is light grey orange, that's from the skin tone range from Carla, from a Who I should say, from the Carla series. And that's just going to do this little tip of the tail that's not outlined at all. Yeah, lost everything, and just kind of thought, F it, I'm not going to bother anymore. Why should I bother? That was a waste of my time. Stupid, whatever, not doing it. Throw it in the bin. And then kind of just got my love back for it and was like, I need to do this. Started a little bit. It's really hard for me not to write, but also to write at the same time. I found it really hard basically rewriting things that I knew I'd already written. and I still am, because I'm not at that point yet where I'm there. But I'm making sure now to sort of write every day something. I think the current goal that I do keep and stick to is 200 words a day. And when I do have a night where I'm having a difficult night, I do 400 the following day, and that's worked so far. I've not had to go anything further than that. There have been nights where I've had to stop myself and go, no, save some for later, because otherwise you'll come tomorrow and not be able to write this. And I'm now at a point where I'm moving past it, but then this idea came to me for these children's stories, and I've thought about children's stories in the past a bit, and kind of not said no, not really tell my nose about it, but said no a little bit. Said no, that's not for me. One of the reasons being that I can't draw, and I don't know anybody that is great at drawing. I am testing colours, by the way, while I'm chatting. No. Maybe move away from the skin tones, because that's possibly what's not working. What about this? What about this? That's a bit scoopy, isn't it? That'll work for the... Yeah, perfect. So now I need something lighter than that, and that's putty. So that's not going to be... Or maybe cream colour. Will that work? Is that yellowish? Might work. And if it doesn't, I can go over with like a really, really light... Oh, actually, let me try this first. What's this? Pale cream. Is that better? Yeah, anyway, these kids' stories. I didn't click to me that I would get someone else to illustrate it necessarily, and I wasn't comfortable with the idea of someone else getting it and then being able to do what they wanted with it, which obviously isn't the case, but this is difficult now. What about eggshell? No, absolutely not. Well, that might be good for Charmander itself, actually. Right, yeah, eggshell for Charmander. Right, the thing is, I've got the sort of the darker tone, and that's putty. Pale cream and cream colour, neither of them are really working, I don't think. But cream colour, I feel like... Right, let's have a look. I feel like cream colour could be... No, cream colour can't be it. No, yeah, it's definitely not cream colour. Where's that come from? That was there. Yeah, so just sort of moving forward with that and trying to think, okay, at least have different names obviously in the books regardless, because they're completely different genres. But just to at least get the experience of my name out there and doing something, getting it into the world and thinking, I am an author, I am a writer, I have books in shops and online, then you can breathe. The pressure's taken off then a little bit, because it's going to be years if it ever happens to make it a career. You know, that's not the goal necessarily, although it'd be great. But it'd be lovely to, you know, just be able to kind of be out there, doing what I want to do, which is, you know, to create, to have books out there with my chosen name on. Because obviously the advice is not to sort of mix your genres together with names, because it confuses people. So, and that's fine by me. I don't mind having, you know, books in different names. It makes sense to me. And at least one of them will be part of a real name, so that's fine by me. And then I can have another one for the more creative side. And who knows, maybe one day I'll do some other side stories about other genres of writing. They're not really in my mind at the moment, because they're not for me. But either way, so yeah, this isn't the ideal colour, and you might look at it and think, actually that looks more like it could be part of Charmander's colour, and you'd be right, to be fair. But it was quite hard to do, actually. I've got a whole box of skin tones, and none of them really looked this kind of pale kind of like buttercream, I suppose, yellow, which is odd because again there are a lot of yellowy. You know what? I bet you now I'm going to try this. It's going to be absolutely right. Go suck him on. Yeah. To be fair, next time, this is for you, Dan. Next time, Primrose will be better for Charmander's stomach. Okay. But we're here now, and doing. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah. Is that one? Yeah. So we're using putty at the moment for the, I suppose the base colour, and then I'm using pale cream, sorry, and then putty is for the shadows. But we've talked about this before, really. One, I'm not great at colour choice at all, and two, I suppose it doesn't necessarily matter as much. It's more, can I colour than are the colours right? Can I fill this in and make it look decent? Do the colours somewhat match each other? Ooh, lovely. Thank you, Anemacent, whoever may have created your robot functions. Lovely to see you today. These colours kind of work for what they need to be, which is Charmander's little podgy belly. Do a bit of that there, and then I do need to just do a little bit here for where his head's gonna go and have some shade there. So I don't mind that colour-wise because I quite like it. It's not the right colour, and I've got a sneaky suspicion that eggshell's not gonna work necessarily, but it's quite a nice little orangey colour. I just need to get a good dark one. I'm thinking, what's this one? Nope. Oh, that's a lovely colour there. That works a little bit for something, I think. But Charmander Shadow's a bit more on the grey side. That's a really nice colour. I wonder if that will be. No, that's too red. That's a really lovely. Sorry, I'm going. I like that's rose beige. That's a lovely colour. It's coming up really nice. Right, let me just. Can I not? Whatever. I was going to delete that message, but either I can't or I don't know how. So it is what it is. My only worry is this is very similar to the colour of the belly. I've not made it yellow enough, but what have we got? About yellowish orange. No, this is the right colour. I just need. In fact, right. I'm gonna lock it in. I'm gonna use eggshell right now, and I'm going to colour Charmander in, so I don't have a choice then, but to stick. Yeah, that is so similar. Oh well. That's actually a pretty decent colour for Charmander, so that's good. It's just a little annoying as well that I found Primrose that would have worked better for the belly colour. And actually, that putty still would have worked well on top of that, I think. This is a really nice colour for Charmander actually. And as it dries and darkens a little bit with the second run, it is different to the colour on the belly, so I'm not unhappy. Next time, definitely we'll use a different colour, specifically probably Primrose, because again that turned out to be a pretty nice colour, and then with Putty as probably the shadows. But here we are again. I think this is what, the 4th stream out of 4 streams that I can say colour choice isn't necessarily, or well, I say it isn't necessarily, clearly clearly isn't my strong suit, but yeah, it is what it is. And again, that's something that's going to get better with time, hopefully, because you'll notice that it's not necessarily that I've got a bad colour choice, it's that I'm quite clearly impatient and will stop and say, that's good enough for me, when most of the time it's not good enough at all for anyone. And as you'll see with earlier, I'll then quite quickly find the right colour. But again, that's the fun. It's not like I'm doing a green Charmander by accident, is it? Right. And I'm sure one day I'll get into the idea of the 3rd colours, so having, you know, an actual highlight as well that I'll start with before the base colour. That'll come at some point. I'll try, promise. But right now, I'm happy just getting practice with adding a shade colour, because that's pretty big for me at the moment. Towel seems really thin, but if anything, I've made it fatter than in the picture. Maybe that's why, because it's a pretty similar length all along on mine, rather than actually tapering into a thin point. But right then, so let's colour that there, because that's what we're using. Where would the eggshell go? Where did it even come from? There? Yeah, there. That burnt orange. Is that too dark? Yeah, it's way too dark. And a lot of that would come, I suppose, a lot of this experience would come from getting things ready before, well, too dark, whatever that is. Vigodny. What's this? Let's try that. Nope. I like to pull that over there. No. Thinking all out for the mouth. Speaking of, too dark. Focus on what we're doing. What's this? Taffy. Too dark, is it? Yeah, kind of. About this one. Very dark. I think I just need to stop with, I'm looking at like kind of brown kind of colours, and that's just not working, so maybe I'll look at more of the oranges, but I'm going to try this last. And we found one. That works. Right. Don't know if this is necessarily right. Again, it's a bit more of a dark contrast, but then the colours that I've been doing are a bit brighter than they need to be. So maybe, oh no, it's really dark. Oh well, I've started now. Again, we're using different tools than we used, and with different skill level that was used. So actually, if this ends up a bit more cartoony, I don't mind as much. Yeah. It's very dark. Very, very dark, but we would not be at a Dan.W stream doing art if this was correct. And I feel like, to be fair, even though the colours aren't great, if I was to sort of do this prior to the stream, I'd probably spend as long as the bloody stream trying to choose colours. So looking at it like that. No, looking at them more like that. Yeah, it'll get better. And as I say, if I do end up, later down the line coming back and doing some of these again, with some better colour choices, with some more skill behind the colours I'm doing, as in sort of how to use them rather than just the actual colours themselves, maybe we can improve. Especially that tail. I don't like that tail, to be fair. I would absolutely redo that. But I don't think it doesn't work. Oh, silly me. Alright, 0.8. Where have you gone? There you are. Didn't put Charmander's little thumb in. I'll move up to here for a second. Because we're going to go. There we go. I say matches, it doesn't match, but we're going to go around that same or similar area of shading. Give that, because again, I've said this before, I get a bit paranoid that the lining's not dry and I'm going to end up smudging it, so I do want to. Well, I might try and come in after with a darker colour, perhaps. Not dark, look darker than the original base. I mean, that didn't work. And try and balance it out a bit, like a little mid colour, but we'll see if that ends up happening. just move that out a bit there. And this does come down a little bit on his upper lip. Yeah, not great. But actually, it doesn't... Again, it's one of those where it doesn't look terrible by the end, to me, at least. But it frustrates me during the middle. Just going to try with... I've got a feeling these. So I don't want black, because black's going to be the centre. So I'm thinking... I'm just going to try and do the eyes now. What about... So Charmander's eyes are kind of... like a greeny blue, more than just a blue. That looks kind of right. And then I want like a lightish, oh no, maybe that was peacock like, is that? It's just a similar kind of colour. Yeah, let's go with, try this one. Too green, let's try ice blue. Really bright. Now again, you know, I fight each time with these colours. Obviously aren't as muted as they could be necessarily. No, that's a bit. Let's try porcelain. I'm sure the porcelain blue for Bulbasaur. That's not going to work. Actually, that works. Alright, so let's try porcelain blue first. In fact, let's so we know where we're colouring. Let's do the whole eye in porcelain blue, and we'll work up in layers. It's probably the smartest way to do it. Yeah, the colours. Oh, that's scary. The colours aren't as muted as they necessarily could be. Did I say forest green? Yeah, let's go forest green. I like forest green. A little darker, but yeah, they're not as muted as they could be. So obviously that means, you know, we end up with more cartoonish kind of colourings. But that's kind of just how we have to put up with it. And again, colour choice could fix that. Well, that's just not working ideally, but yeah, colour choice could help that, and that's on me. But that goes down to here as well. A part of that, I suppose, is like I say, the fact that there's not as much choice, I suppose. But I'm not going to blame that on a Hoo-Hoo or any of the brands that I use. I'm going to blame that on me. How does that look? Yeah, just kind of gross, so that's fine. Let's try and get the mouth now. I'm thinking straight away this colour will work. Yeah, perfect. And then I need just a lighter one for the front. I'm thinking, is this gonna work? Kind of, but I'm gonna try instead first because that's a little bit too pink. Yeah, that's better. Is it? It's basically the same colour. So I'm going to go over first in pear colour, which I don't think pear is this colour, to be fair. And then the shadows I'm going to do with dark pink. And then just a little darker in here in the corner. Okay. And I'm going to try on the fire. So it's pretty much yellow and orange with streaks of white, to be honest. Let's try lemon yellow. It's not as bright as it could be. Let's try marigold. That's perfect for the orange parts. What about sunflower? It's not bright. I'm trying to find like a, oh, what about this one? Canary yellow. Trying to find like a yellowy yellow. Yeah, perfect. So I think what I'm going to do is cover the whole thing in yellow. Well, fill the whole thing in yellow rather, and then go in with the orange to do the different colours. One part that's always confused me. Well, I say confused me. No, it's not confused me. It's confused me that people don't think the same as me necessarily. The Pokédex, or some of the Pokédex entries say, or lore behind Charmander says, that if the fire on his tail goes out, he'll die. Now, I get that as a story point of view. You know, it's his life fire, but it's just so silly. That's not realistic, and that's, you know, one of the many reasons that I look at Pokédex entries as kind of folklore. It's just that Oak, or whoever's, you know, compiling the notes or the information, just like we know size is not necessarily always correct. It's a fact of sort of fishwives' tales and fairy tales, you know, Drifloon dragging children off. It's just a compilation of some stories that people tell, and, you know, Oak, or again whoever has compiled the information, has put those stories in there, and that's, you know, just a bit of history about that Pokemon. What was talked about, what was known. Do I believe that Drifloon actually steal Pokemon, little children away? Do I believe Yamask is little children, ghosts with a mask on? No, it's a Pokemon. You're telling me, okay, so Drifloon's a child whose ghost has taken over a mask, yet in the Pokemon Tower in Lavender you can't see the ghosts properly and therefore can't catch them until you've got a Silph Scope, but this child's ghost you somehow can? Yeah, silly. Hypno and Drowsy in children's dreams because they're sweeter. No, they use Dream Eater on Pokemon. And again, that's where these bits of information have come in, that's where these little bits of folklore have come in, because that's what people have said centuries ago. 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. That's what people have sort of discussed about these Pokemon, and that's what whoever's made them is going to, okay, yeah, cool, let's say this about this, let's put this in here. Oh yeah, it hurts this Pokemon to do this. Oh yeah, it's painful for them to try and get through here or to do this part, and it's just not realistic. I mean, again, it's Pokemon, it's not meant to be realistic, but it's just not realistic enough for me, and that's why, again, Pokédex entries are just a fun little tidbit about the world. It's world building. It's got nothing to do with the Pokemon itself. It's literally just there for flavour. And whilst, yes, some of them are spooky, the Pokemon itself isn't. You know what I mean? It's not real. One, it's not real. It's actually not real. It's Pokemon. And two, it's not real in the world. I'll never believe that it's real in the world. It's just not. Yeah, it's just not. And anyone who believes it is, that's you, and that's your thoughts. Great, and I appreciate that. You know, we all have different opinions and different thoughts on something as meaningless as Pokemon Pokédex entries. But that's a hill I'll die on. That it's literally just folklore. It's little bits of tidbits and histories that, you know, like fairy tales today. You know, little scary stories for children. Don't go out or Drifloon will come and get you. Or don't stay up at night because Hypno will come and steal your dreams. Like, it's that kind of silliness. Do you know what I mean? And that's just where I feel the information comes from. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily right, but also it's, again, not real. So we can all have our own headcanons on that. My only issue with the colour range is there's not many like obvious oranges, and when you do start colouring with other things like marigold, that marigold is orange. I'm sorry, that's no other colour than orange. That's very red. And that, for example, this is French Vermilion, which is a red, but the cap shows orange. It's not orange. Now if I go in with this sanguine orange, that's pretty much red. So most of the time you have to end up looking at like yellows and things and hoping that they're kind of dark enough to be, or reddish enough to be another colour. I just want to go in and do some darker tones, and I'm thinking I might just use the marigold again to dig in and do some darker flames and go over it again a little bit, because layering is something that alcohol markers and the Ohuhu markers at the very least do well. So for some little shades, even though it's, you know, fire, but the thing is, this isn't a 2D fire, it's a 3D fire. So I'm trying to do some. Yeah, cool. Now all I want is a blue grey, a nice blue grey. See, cool grey is BG, which to me it's quite interesting that this is cool grey 041, but the code is BG041, and to me that's a blue grey because green grey is GG and cool grey is CG, but blue grey is BG. But both the BGs I'm looking at right now are cool grey. Anyway, that's a full perfect. That is just a tangent anyway. This is just to get some shadow on the claws and the teeth. Anything white, if any white is left on them, looking at you, crazy ghost eyes. But I will actually, speaking of, get my colourless blender out and just try and make some of that white again. Oh, that's just ruined it. Yeah, that's just ruined it. I do have somewhere a white gel pen, I think. Is this a gel pen? Let's try and get some white back on there. Yeah, it's not working. That is not a good enough gel pen. It's a lovely pen, but it's not a proper sort of artist white gel pen. It's just a white pen. And I definitely don't have any other white gel pens, so my only other thought is perhaps, do I have a white in here? No. That's sketch, that's sketch. Just looking through my colours quickly because I do have, oh, what's in here actually? Because these are all gel pens. Do I have? There won't be one in here, will there? Let's have a look. No. But these are, I want to use these one day. These are, I think I got these from Amazon. There's some Chinese gel pens, some rollerball gel pens. I didn't think there'd be a white in there, and there's not. But I'm just having a look through my little chest of treasures here to see if I happen to have anything. Ideally, I suppose, like a white crayon of some sort, just to add that white back in, because that's going to irritate me the entire Pokemon portion of my life, which is so far many years that we're not going to state. There's silver there, but that's not going to work. What are you? You're going to be just colours. Oh, I have a chalk pen. Is that going to be... That's stupid. Let's see. Ha! Did it. Do I like that? I mean, it's somewhat fixed it. That's fine by me. I'll add a little bit more just to brighten it up. That worked out well. That wasn't in front of the thing, that was underneath it. But I didn't need to use anything then, which is good. Because I was dying from the idea of potentially having to use colour pencils to try and get a white on there, because I wouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, that is Charmander done. Charmander. Yeah, done. So thank you anyone that did flit in, although I didn't see the numbers go up, so it probably didn't. Thank you to anyone watching on YouTube. And you know, people are seeing it there, so that's great. If you have watched it and do like what you see, don't forget to follow on Twitch and to like and subscribe on YouTube. And I will see you all tomorrow at 2. Bye.